Hello and welcome to an FA Cup edition of the preview show from RamsTV. It's fourth round night here at Pride Park Stadium with Derby County preparing to take on Premier League West Ham United. It'll be the Hammers' first visit to Pride Park in over 10 years. It'll only be the second time that these sides have faced each other in the FA Cup at all. Let's remind ourselves before we do anything else of how Derby got to this stage. Well, Asula scored twice at Torquay United in round one, but the non-league side fought back, scoring a dramatic last-minute equaliser to earn a replay at Pride Park. Derby were more than comfortable on home soil, though. Liam Thompson got his first senior goal, and Lewis Dobbin got the pick of the bunch in a 5-0 win. Derby left it late at lead to Newport in the second round. They came from behind thanks to David McGoldrick's late goal. In round three, they faced League One rivals Barnsley. James Collins converted a first-half penalty to put Derby on their way. Tom Barkhazen and Jason Knight also on target. And both sides tonight will know their opponents in the fifth round if they make it through before kick-off. The draw taking place before tonight's game at around 7:05 tonight. Should also mention that we still have replays at this stage of the FA Cup this season, so we may not get a winner tonight at all. Right, let's get some thoughts from the Derby squad before we do anything else. Curtis Davis once scored in an FA Cup final, and he's back in the Derby side recently and very pleased about it.
It was massive, you know. I've always said I'm a good cheerleader to a point. You know, I will always support my teammates, and you know, that's my role as a captain. I'll always support them on and off the pitch, but I prefer to be doing it on the pitch if I'm being totally honest. And it had been a frustrating time out with the injury anyway. But obviously coming back, the team were flying. I had no arguments, nothing to say to the manager, nothing to say about the players that were holding the shirts. It was just a situation that happened. So I'd been patient, and ultimately, you know, Cash got a little niggle against Cheltenham, which meant I saw out the last half an hour and then came into the Bolton game. So having not played for nearly 2 months, coming into a Saturday, Tuesday was very interesting. But yeah, I felt the Bolton game was quite comfortable. You know, they scored at the end, but that's from our mistake. And then going into the Port Vale game, I felt very comfortable as well, considering it was second game in 3 days, and they were fresh because their game was postponed. I felt good. So I'm hoping I can have an extended run at it, but that's the manager's headache to have, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Do
you think the time, whenever you have it for whatever reason, injury, whatever, do you think time out of the side makes you appreciate it all a little bit more when you get back in?
It does, but also at my age, I'm not by any means retiring myself, but there's only so many games left in my career, so I don't want to be missing 9-10 games in chunks. I want to be playing every game. That's just the way I am. That's the way I'm built. You know, some people, when they get to my age, don't trust their body, so they say, I'm all right with that role of playing a game here, missing a few, play another one. That's not me. I'd sooner be playing games week in, week out, and I've always said I'd rather retire on my feet than on my backside. So I want to play out my years of playing in the game rather than kind of fade out into the distance. As
someone who's played at the highest level, Premier League, FA Cup final as well, as we talked about, do you still get excited for this sort of occasion, this sort of game?
Yeah. I think more so, as I said, when you come into the twilight days of your career, to have these, I call it a big game because it's a Premier League team. To have the chance to get out there and play against a Premier League team and test yourself still against those players, test yourselves against the Jared Bowens who I've played with, who's obviously scored a couple of important goals the weekend, Declan Rice's, Antonio's, whoever it's going to be. You like to test yourself against the best still. I don't think that leaves you. Some people, you know, when they say, oh yeah, if you get a Premier League team in the cup, oh well, that's us out. No, have the challenge. You know, the onus is on them to come and win it. Yeah, we know that, but we want to make an account of ourselves. You know, a lot of times it's said it's a free hit, but I don't like the free hit phrase. I think, fair enough, the onus is on them, but you still want to win a game of football. You still want to make an account of yourself, and you still want to progress. So ultimately, whilst the onus is on them, we all want to do good things. And me, myself, more than anyone, I won't have many opportunities to play against these teams again. So if I do get the chance to play, I want to make a good account of myself.
I'm sure he will, as always. Curtis Davies there. Well, Curtis and his teammates got a new teammate over the weekend. Yes, the January transfer window is open. In fact, deadline day is tomorrow. And Derby have strengthened their goalkeeping department with the signing of Luke McGee on loan from Forest Green.
Yeah, I had a little look around this morning. The facilities, the lads, everyone seems really, really good. The place is amazing, so I'm really looking forward to getting going.
You mentioned the lads. Have you had a chance to speak to many of them today?
I've seen a couple as I'm walking around. Don't know too many of them personally, but yeah, looking forward to getting to know them and getting in the mix as soon as possible.
What about players and, sorry, not players, coaching staff, other staff around the place? What have your initial conversations been like with them?
All positive. So it came about a couple of days ago, so I've had some really good conversations with the gaffer and with Andy, the goalkeeper coach. So yeah, it was as soon as I obviously found out about it that it was a possibility. It was something that I wanted to get done as soon as possible, and luckily that's happened. Yeah,
how did those conversations go? How did this move come about for you?
So obviously my time at Forest Green came to a halt pretty quickly. So as soon as kind of that happened, we knew that to look for other options and things like that. So the past 2-3 days, when I found out obviously the club were interested, we pushed that as soon as we could to try and get that done as quickly as possible. So
last couple of years at Forest Green, talk us through your career to date before that.
Yeah, so Forest Green for the last 2.5 years, Portsmouth before that for 2-3 years, and then from kind of 10 years old growing up through the ranks at Tottenham, then left there when I was 21. So yeah, it's been a nice ride so far.
Lots of experience around League One and promoted from League Two last year as well, and in the playoffs the year before that. What did you learn from that promotion season and the push the year before that?
Yeah, it's just the experience that comes with it. I think being in kind of tough situations throughout the season that you have to deal with when thrown your way, I think has definitely put me in a good position now in my career to hopefully use that experience to help the team and to help the club.
A new signing, Luke McGee there, although he won't be involved for Derby tonight, he is cup-tied. So too is West Ham's major signing of the January transfer window so far, although Danny Ings is injured nonetheless. It means West Ham have just one fit senior striker available for tonight's game. The visitors tonight are also just 2 points above the Premier League relegation zone, despite a big win last weekend. There's no doubt there is still pressure on David Moyes' side. He's hoping to avoid an upset tonight.
Anything can happen, and we've seen it over the years, so we need to be on our mettle. We need to play well. Derby are on a really good run at the moment. They're a football club which is Premier League in sort of stature and in size, so we go there and we give them all the respect we can, and hopefully try and get through to the next round, but they'll be thinking the same.
Yeah, you mentioned you could have missed the last year. I mean, the vast majority of the public would have been willing them to win because it's a big shock and it's the magic of the FA Cup. And I guess you've got to fight that on Monday as well against Derby. Other than West Ham fans, probably everyone wants Derby to win.
Yeah, but I think that when I've been in the other side as well, been at Preston, we played Arsenal when Arsenal were champions and invincibles, and we were 2-0 up at one point. We ended up losing 4-2, unfortunately, but it was an incredible game, and I think it happens. I think quite often we have competitions which are games in this competition which actually, no, it does happen. So we have to be at our best to get through. But yeah, I think the competition could open up. You've mentioned a few teams have been knocked out already. But always in any competition, the draws are the things that happen. Everybody wants to win the cup, no doubt about that. And everybody wants to get to the final, there's no doubt about that. But the draws sometimes can go against you, or sometimes you can play badly and find yourself knocked out.
How is the squad, and what changes are you anticipating making?
Squad are good. I'm really pleased that we get a great boost from the win against Everton last week. I'm seeing it in training. I've definitely seen an improvement in the spirits and all the good things you would hope. So we'll go there with a strong squad. We'll go there and try and get through in the cup. But we also know and are aware that Derby County are on a great run. And as I said there before, Derby County would not be out of place as a football club in the Premier League. And they've had big problems over probably, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 years now, but they've certainly had some serious problems, and they look as if they're just beginning to get themselves back together a little just now.
I was going to ask you about that, because it's been a while since West Ham and Derby have played each other, but an awful lot has changed for them over the course of the last few years, as you say. Are you surprised to see them as a League One team at the moment, and do you think they won't necessarily be there for long?
I don't think MD in the football world should be surprised, because I look at big clubs, Sheffield Wednesday, you know, we had Leeds United down for a long time, and we've had lots of big clubs down. So I think when you do go down then for like Derby, then, you know, it can be difficult to get back, and it's proved that way for Derby. And I know they've had other problems behind the scenes as well, so they've had to work hard, but they've certainly got themselves in a really strong position in the First Division. And we went to Kidderminster last year, who are probably another 3 or 4 leagues down, so we're certainly not going to pay Derby no respect. We're going to give them every bit of respect they deserve as a football club and as a team, and we'll go there and try and get ourselves through in the Cup.
David Moyes there mentioning the scrap that West Ham had with Kidderminster in the competition last season. They've actually won their past 4 FA Cup ties against sides from outside the top 2 divisions, but they have been knocked out by League One sides in recent years. AFC Wimbledon and Wigan have both done it within the last 6 years. Side Ben Rama got the only goal in their 3rd round win at Brentford earlier this month. West Ham have reached the 5th round in each of the last 2 seasons. Derby last made it through to the 5th round 3 years ago when they lost at home to Manchester United. Well, it's Premier League opposition for the Rams once again at Pride Park Stadium tonight, but head coach Paul Bourne says they're preparing exactly the same.
No, oddly enough, no, I'm absolutely bothered. It's just about, I think, like I said to the lads when we played Torquay away, it wasn't about the Torquay game as such. It was about trying to get in the rounds where they start getting exciting. And if you can get no disrespect to Torquay, but if you can get a Premier League team, especially at home, then you can create a memory for yourself and for your family and all that. And I was fortunate enough to play at Anfield on a Saturday afternoon in the FA Cup, and it's something my mum still remembers to this day, which means a lot to me. In fact, I think my son has got Carragher's shirt up in his wall. I weren't a shirt swapper. It wasn't me. However, my mum kindly contacted the club and got his shirt. Sort of cringe, but sort of amazingly nice at the same time. So I know the importance of it, and I appreciate a couple of our lads have played in the Premier League, 20 odd years ago. So it won't be such a big thing for them possibly, but for the younger lads it is. And I still think that games like this, it might be the first time like someone takes their granddaughter or grandson to the game, or their mate or something, and says, "Look, let's just go and watch Derby, they're playing West Ham." Okay, yeah, great. And you might have a fan for life. So I know the importance of these games, and under the lights, on TV on a Monday night, the lads could just go out and enjoy it. That's all I want them to do.
I know you said there a couple of the guys have played in the Premier League before a while ago, but can you feel the excitement from some of them about this game?
Not yet, because I've given them a couple of days off, so we'll do the meetings now and possibly. But in fairness to them, they all want to play, which is a great thing. Difficult to manage at times, but a great thing. And it would I wouldn't expect any less excitement when we play Morecambe at home next week. So they're all driven to play every game. They're competitive in 5-0s. You see them and you film them out there. They're competitive in training. They're just elite people who just want to compete, really. So I haven't seen any more excitement. However, it will sort of build over the next couple of days. They might do more interviews. They might be a bit more aware, So I think they will be when they actually walk out. I don't think it sort of hits them really that, West Ham are bringing a significant amount of people. I think the atmosphere from a player's point of view is the one you want to play in. I will be sulking for the first 5 minutes of the game, guaranteed, because I'll be thinking, rubbish standing here compared to being out there in the actual war zone. So so I think as we get closer, the lads will get more and more excited, I think.
I suspect I know the answer to this question, but when you're playing opposition of this calibre, like Liverpool earlier in the season, do you prepare any differently? Do you do anything differently?
No, nothing. I mean, we'll prepare them exactly the same way, as you well know. We're going through what we think their shape will be, or 2 different shapes really. We'll talk about their players like we do anyone else, and we'll send them out trying to win. So we won't be going out and trying to stay in the game for 60, 70 minutes. No, we'll just play the same way, go the same way, and look, we just have to drive performances. If they perform at their very best and they lose, then I'll be well proud of them. Sounds a bit weird, I know, but it's just the performance level that we're obsessed with. So, They have to play at their very, very best to beat a Premier League team. That is, and if someone says to me, "Oh, they're not in amazing form," like I'm bore off. They're a very good team, so we'll have to be very good. But I just want the level of performance to be the same, and then the lads can be proud of themselves.
And there he is, Paul Warne there. That's it from the preview show for now. Unfortunately, no live coverage of tonight's game on RamsTV. You can get audio commentary on the website, and you can follow the action across the club's social media channels. We'll have reaction at dcfc.co.uk after the game as well. Goodbye.